Welcome to Family Style Magic,
where we're serving up magical adventures for the whole family.
I'm Robert.
I'm Emily.
And today we're talking about navigating Epcot with kids.
I'm excited because Epcot is one of my most favorite places in the entire world.
If you're watching the video, you can probably tell. We're both sporting our Epcot, merch, paraphernalia?
That's right. I don't know. I've got Epcot throwback. You've got new Epcot. I love it.
We admitted on the last episode that Magic Kingdom is probably our favorite of the theme parks at Walt Disney World.
How can it not be?
How could it not be? But our family keeps finding ourselves going back. Remember the time we added an Epcot day?
We did. Sometimes
while we were there.
We just can't get enough.
We just can't.
Epcot. And you're going to learn why on this episode.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Epcot is just a family fair. There's something for everybody at Epcot. There are plenty of rides, lots of great food, and culture.
Yes, so much for everyone. There is something from the tiniest in your family to the most senior among you. You will have a fantastic time all the way around.
But there are a few challenges, and not to be a negative Nancy, but sorry if your name is Nancy, but there are a few hurdles we have to scale.
Right. We're going to scale the hurdles.
Do you scale hurdles?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
Clearly. But Epcot is huge.
Yeah.
And so there can be a lot going on as far as steps and general fatigue when it comes to Epcot. The good news is there's going to be food all along the way to really help push you along those hurdles you're scaling.
Yes,
so
the hurdles we're scaling.
You're going to be able to do that with ease because of all the food at Epcot.
Yeah, it is a very big place. And once you get into the World Showcase, it's just a giant circle going around that lagoon. And
would you say it's the circle of life?
Wow, I would not, because we're not in Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
But anyway.
It is a circle.
It is on brand, and it is a very large circle. And, there reaches a point of no return. You just sort of have to go all the way around, and you have to backtrack and go back the way you came if you want to make it back out to, like, the front of the park.
And
or
chances
Spaceship
are
Earth.
you're going to do that more than once during the day. So hence,
if you don't plan your day well, you'll find yourself going from one end of the park to the other all the time.
Right, and that Epcot fatigue is going to set in quick.
Yeah, it happens.
So we're going to help you to navigate Epcot with kids in the most efficient way.
Let's remind ourselves of the layout of Epcot for a moment. It's divided into 4 neighborhoods. You come in at sort of World Celebration. That's where Spaceship Earth is.
Yes,
the
icon.
The picture perfect point. And then around Spaceship Earth, at the opposite extremities of Spaceship Earth, are on right or left, World Discovery and World Nature.
Right. So 3 of the neighborhoods are right there packed as soon as you come in the main front entrance.
Fairly close to each other. And now that the walls are down, the construction is done, it's easier to navigate between them a little better.
Crossing across the, Communicore Plaza area is making things much easier to get between neighborhoods. You may not even realize you're in a different neighborhood of Epcot.
Yeah, that's true. And then you, of course, have World Showcase.
Which is back behind by itself. Now, it has a separate entrance, and that's going to be something we talk about in a minute as well. But the International Gateway is in World Showcase, and so that is another entrance into the park.
Yeah, okay, so either you come via monorail or bus or, self-parking. You drive yourself, and you come in at World Celebration right there in front of Spaceship Earth. Or if you're on a Skyliner resort,
or some of the resorts you can walk from,
or you can walk from some of the resorts, or there's also a boat that you can ferry over from some of the resorts. Then you're going to come in at the International Gateway, which is the entrance around in World Showcase.
Right, it's between France and the UK.
Right. So just know that it's same thing. You got the security checkpoint, blah blah blah.
Yes. Same entry times and things like that.
Do you think it's a shorter crowd or no? Smaller crowd.
If you're rope dropping, I enjoy rope dropping from International Gateway.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's just a different experience. We've come in both ways. We've been first both places. Mm-hmm. So not to brag, humble brag, but you can go either way. It just depends on how you want to stack your day. Yeah. If your day needs to begin with Remy, if your day needs to begin with Frozen, International Gateway is going to help you out. if the beginning of your day is instead you've grabbed a virtual queue for Guardians, hey, you're going to want to start at the main entrance.
But what you need to know is if you're staying at a Skyliner resort, you do not have a bus option unless it's, lightning or something outside. Right. So if the Skyliner's down, you can take a bus. Otherwise, they really are pushing the Skyliner, and you're going to be coming in there at the International Gateway.
And I tell you, that is not a negative. I love the Skyliner. I love staying at Skyliner resorts. So that is a huge plus. And I'm going to go Skyliner Resort all day if I have the option.
Oh, I love Skyliner, unless it's a monorail resort.
Well, I mean.
Okay. Okay. Have we said that correctly? Because what about the transportation and ticket center? If you park yourself, you're still going to be coming in at that main entrance, but you would come in via the TTC. Is that correct?
No, there's a parking area at Epcot. Okay. You could park over, if you're going to park hop.
You got some options.
Things like that. You could park at the TTC and you could monorail over from that area.
Boy, that stuff gets confusing.
It does.
Just look it up. Know your options.
Contract a travel agent and stay on property. It makes it much easier.
Emily at wondermakerstravel.com.
You heard it here.
Emily.hatfield at wondermakerstravel.com.
We can get the right address. That'll help everyone.
I'm not doing well. Let's launch right in. So here's the way we're going to do this. And this is really, really hard, but we're just trying to give you tips and tricks about Epcot. We'll elaborate a little bit as we go along the way. We've broken this down into several categories: attractions, eating, entertainment, shopping, beating the heat. And then we have a very special top 5 in which we're going to discuss the top 5 educational spots at Epcot, because Epcot is a big educational place.
And you're bringing your kids.
More on that in just a bit. But okay, we're trying to narrow this down. So we're giving our top 2 each: attractions, eating spots, entertainment spots, shopping, and places to beat the heat in Epcot. We start with our top 2 attractions.
All right.
Epcot.
If you listen to the Magic Kingdom episode, you know I'm a sucker for smells. So I'm going.
Good ones. Good smells.
Good smells. Well, I don't know. Those other ones can get you, but you'll talk about that in a moment. My number 1 pick is Soarin'. I love Soarin'. It's soaring around the world right now. And it is fantastic. It is beautiful. It is educational. It also smells delightful.
Yes, it's nice. And number 2 for you?
Frozen Ever After. Mm-hmm. Who can beat a cute little Olaf and a beautiful themed Arendelle and a nice little photo op? It's got everything you need.
Both of those are great for kids.
They are wonderful.
Our kids are smaller, and they like both of those rides.
Now, some of the smallest ones may not enjoy Frozen. They will enjoy Frozen. They might not enjoy Soarin'.
Meant Soarin'.
I did. Well, to be fair, there's a little bit of drop in Frozen, so just prepare people. Or
it's
don't.
Not bad.
It's really fine. Yeah. But in Soarin', it does lift you up. And so you are soaring
dangling
over these things. So,
yeah.
But
you're strapped in. There's a seatbelt, the whole thing. They
are not scary things. That's why I love them. They're my top 2.
Mm-hmm. All right. My top 2, number 1 in the front part of the park, Journey into Imagination with Figment.
See, I told you about those bad smells.
Okay, so you're journeying in and using all the senses, but it sort of turns it all on its ear.
Well, Figment is there, and Figment
he messes with everything. So anyway,
just a cute little creature.
There is a sensational aspect of that ride that your kids are sure to remember and enjoy. I know ours do. And then for me, number 2, now we're going into World Showcase, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It's just a great ride.
The theming of Remy's Ratatouille Adventure is fantastic. From the moment you round the corner back there in France and you're immersed in it, and then as you go in the queue, you're getting smaller and smaller.
France is one of my favorite pavilions in the World Showcase.
It is probably my favorite pavilion, hands down.
Yeah, it's really good. Now, on Remy's, you're going to be wearing the 3D glasses, and sometimes that makes people feel a little weird. You have some issues with that every once in a while.
I don't love it, but if I'll move my glasses and then put those glasses on, I have less of an issue, but it's still not my favorite.
We both wear glasses. I take my glasses off and just wear the 3D glasses. Right. My vision.
But I should tell you that I'm not legally blind.
Yes.
So I can still see things without my glasses. If you cannot, I would put the 3D glasses over your regular glasses.
There are lots of honorable mentions when it comes to attractions. You've got one especially that's not like our kiddos. They wouldn't even begin to go on this one.
And neither would you. But I love Guardians of the Galaxy. If you can get a virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy, it is fantastic. It is so much fun. You will love it. So that may be something that you do a rider swap on or something like that if you're taking kids and you don't have someone to watch them while you go, or they don't meet height requirements, things like that. But Guardians is fantastic.
And hey, I've put a link in our show notes about the rider switch situation. It's a link right to Walt Disney World's website, FamilyStyleMagic.com/4. This is episode 4.
All right, let's talk about one of my favorite things to do in Epcot, and that is eat.
Oh, it's a tough one to pick, too.
Is that what the E stands for? Because it should. It should stand for eat. Okay, how do you pick? We're going to break this up into table service and quick service. Mm-hmm. So what do you think? What's your favorite table service in Epcot?
Oh, it's got to be Chippendale's Harvest Feast at Garden Grill Restaurant.
It's the best food.
It is so good.
The meet and greet is fantastic.
Okay, this is a character dining experience. So you're going to meet Mickey, Pluto, Chip, and Dale.
Mickey's in a farmer outfit.
He's in his farmer outfit, and it's great. They come table to table, and they... Garden Grill is one of the smaller character dining restaurants. And for that reason, the characters tend to spend a little more time with you while you're there.
They do. And it's one of the only character experiences in Walt Disney World where you are actually kind of in an attraction as you go, because you are inside the land pavilion. You are actually rotating as you eat.
The whole restaurant slowly rotates. It's not like going to make you dizzy while you're trying to eat. But yeah, you're slowly
You may
rotating.
look up and realize you're living with the land, and you didn't even know.
You're on top of living with the land, and so sometimes you'll realize that you're doing that.
It's so fun.
And a lot of the food that is served there is grown in the land pavilion.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a healthy option, Garden Grill has so many great things. So that would also technically be my favorite.
Yes.
But I didn't want to choose the same thing.
It's not cheap, by the way.
No.
You're going to save up for this, but it's a character dining experience.
Okay. So is this one. And I chose it more for the character aspect than the food aspect, but I'm going back to Norway, and I'm going to Akersjø. It does have a very Norwegian cuisine.
Yeah.
So... keep that in mind. If you are a fish person, you're going to love it.
But they don't just have fish.
It's not just
good.
fish, but it's very Norwegian.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. However, they have a princess meet and greet all around the character dining, and it's a fantastic thing. If you've got some princesses in your life, you need to take them there.
We talked on the Magic Kingdom episode about how Cinderella's Royal Table is somewhat of a one-stop shop for princesses. This would be the equivalent
version
of that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's switch to quick service for a moment. And I know where you're going in quick service.
Where am I going in quick service?
You're going to France.
I am going to France. It is fantastic all the way around. I could eat anywhere in France. There are about like 5 different directions, but I'm going to come in and go to Les Halles. Which is the quick service little patisserie, bakery, beautiful place.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And you're going to walk in and then keep walking in. So there's actually a gift shop in the front, but you keep walking and you're just met with cases and cases and cases of these freshly baked,
and
beautiful goods.
You'll smell the bread, the fresh like bread baking kind of smell.
It's a bread smell, right?
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's good.
Everything there that I've ever had has been fantastic. We like to go for brunch, so you can grab a fresh baguette. My personal favorite is probably the quiche, so you can't lose going there. It's fantastic. There is not going to be a place to sit, though, so just keep in mind.
I don't know. Sometimes we've gotten lucky some of the time. So there's a small seating area just outside, but it's within the building. It's kind of opposite the gift shop inside that building. That we've gotten lucky sometimes, and there's a couple of stand-up high-top tables as well.
You're going to technically probably run more into the official Epcot trash cans tables, which is what you're going to do, because in Epcot you're eating on a lot of trash cans.
Yeah.
But no judgment. It's a great place to eat in Epcot.
Look up Les Halles on the map. It's sort of tucked away, and it's not. Don't go down toward Remy's. Go the other way in the France area, and you'll see it there. Okay, mine, and this is somewhat of a cop out. I'm a sucker for the little fries. Connections Cafe.
Okay,
man,
that is a terrible choice
listen,
for Epcot.
I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, first of all,
I'm gonna judge you the whole time.
You've been walking around all over the place. You're exhausted. You want air conditioning. You want a seat. Okay,
and free refills.
You want free refills. You will find all 3 of those things at Connections Cafe.
Okay.
It's huge. They've got a nice variety. It's great for the kiddos.
There's a Starbucks attached to it.
There's a Starbucks attached to it. It is good. So sure, it's not the most exotic thing. It's not the most foodie thing. But boy, I love those fries.
Because if you're a foodie person, you're hitting up the pavilions. That's what you're doing. You're going to Germany and grabbing some of that caramel popcorn. You're going any and every place you can stop at a pavilion and getting a snack. That's what you're doing.
You're going over to Italy for some of that pizza.
whatever you're doing, you're enjoying it all around the World Showcase.
And then if you hit it up, and this is sort of a bonus tip, but if you go to Epcot during any of the festivals, particularly the Food and Wine Festival, because food's in the name, but you'll see the little pop-up shops that are around.
The festival booths, no matter what festival it is, they're going to have some great exclusive snacks for those festivals.
And they'll be a little smaller too, which means the price is a little reduced. You may think it's still a little steep or whatever, but it's a little bit less, but you're getting a little less, and the idea is you can snack as you go around the world.
Worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Worth it.
And if food wasn't entertaining enough, there are some other entertainment options when it comes to Epcot. And our number one is the same.
Voices of Liberty in the America Pavilion. This is a beautiful, wonderful experience, not the least of which reasons is because it's in a beautiful air-conditioned space. You can sit down and enjoy the air conditioning, and then your ears will get a treat as you have this beautiful a cappella singing in 4-part harmony, and it is a beautiful, let's be real, harmony. It's probably 7 or 8, but it's wonderful. It is such a great experience. They are always really, really talented individuals doing that.
So they're singing like the American folk songs, patriotic songs, what you would expect inside the America Pavilion. A lot of people that we talk to don't realize this is a thing.
Yes.
But check the app, your My Disney Experience app for showtimes. They perform all throughout the day, and it's a different show throughout the day, according to what we've told. And then when it's done, you get to meet them and snap selfies and that kind of thing.
It's fantastic. Pro tip, when you go in, sit in the middle of the floor around the rotunda. You're going to see a little line. If you'll scoot as close up to that line as you can and get yourself directly under the middle part of the pavilion, the singing is amazing. And they recommend you sitting there. You're not going to be like crowding their style or whatever. They want you to come and sit at their feet.
They'll actually say that during the show as well. So they'll give you an opportunity.
So if you want a good spot, go first.
But there are also padded benches and things like that you can sit on. The experience is way better under the rotunda. All right, my number 2, it would be Bruce's Shark World at the Seas with Nemo and Friends. We're talking entertainment here. This is great for the kiddos. So here's what you do. You don't have to ride the ride first. You can go the other way and go straight in. But if you ride the Seas with Nemo and Friends,
which you should.
Oh yeah, you get off your little clamshell, you come right outside, and you're in an aquarium. And our kids love
every moment.
Love the aquarium. And this is like also kind of educational, more on that later. But you walk around, you're immersed with the fish. They're just all over the place. There's amazing viewing areas, but there's also a little playground area, and they can go and they're inside, Bruce's mouth and stuff like that.
Lots of fun.
It's fun times.
It's not as great as my number 2 choice, which is the Nighttime Spectacular, which at the moment is Luminous, the Symphony of Us. I like any kind of kiss goodnight, right, that they're going to have. And this is kind of a fireworks, laser show, water show situation that they have. It's relatively new for 2024, but it's good. Yeah. And anywhere around the World Showcase is going to be a pretty spectacular spot.
So the idea is you're going to be looking out toward the water, toward the lagoon. That's what you're going to be looking at.
Yes. Yeah. And if you can get Spaceship Earth in the background, that's going to make it even better.
It's always a beautiful view.
Yeah.
Here's a bonus tip. There are certain, festival unique events, entertainment things that may happen as well. So you want to sort of look that up as well if you're there during a festival time.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So
Sorry.
Now we're going to go shopping. Because with all of these different pavilions in the World Showcase, all over Epcot, there are so many amazing shops. Where are you going to shop at Epcot?
My number 1 is going to be Creation Shop.
Is that where you got that great hat?
That's where I got my fantastic hat. They have so much great Epcot apparel, and they've got the toys and the plushes and the shirts
and the lounge flies.
The lounge flies. The things you'll find all over the place. But consistently, there have been very unique items that are generalized unique in the Creation Shop.
Yes.
There are a ton of shops all around World Showcase, and you want to duck in and weave your way through some of those. But I found that sometimes those are so specialized, it just doesn't meet my personal taste. But look at this hat.
Creations is fantastic.
And
it often has, as we've mentioned, there are different times of year when there are festivals going on. A lot of times they have festival merch. They have different things like that you can find, but very Epcot specific items that you're going to find in Creation Shop, which is fantastic. Now, as we go for our next stop, because that's both of our favorite, we love the Creation Shop.
Number 1.
But we also like those specialized shopping areas in the different pavilions. My favorite is the UK pavilion at large. There
Just
are
the
like
whole
3
thing.
different shops back in there, but it is all very UK themed. So you got Winnie the Pooh, Mary Poppins, 101 Dalmatians, Alice in Wonderland, and then things that aren't even Disney related at all, but are very UK. So like Doctor Who, Monty Python, like it's such cool stuff back in there. And so I love every part of the UK pavilion experience.
Especially the toy soldier. That's my favorite in the UK.
It is
pavilion.
wonderful.
It's really good. My number 2 is very similar to my number 1. I guess I have a taste and I stick with it. But it's the World Traveler Shop, which is by the International Gateway. So if you missed the Creations Shop and it's time for you to leave on your way to the Skyliner, if you're on a Skyliner resort, hit up the World Traveler. It's kind of a smaller version of the Creation Shop, but there tends to be maybe more World Showcase type merchandise there.
Yes.
In addition to,
and it's a great place to just
like
kind
that,
of stop off and say, hey, I wanted this one little thing. I didn't want to carry it all the way around the park.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it here.
It's good. Okay, it does get hot because it is still Florida, and Epcot's a big place. So if we're going to beat the heat, where are we going to go?
If I'm in the World Showcase and it's hot, I'm going to the America Pavilion. I'm gonna listen to voices if it's time, and if it's not time, I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna be cool inside of there, and I'm gonna enjoy that. Or I'm gonna go and look at the American Adventure, which is another thing that you can do inside of the America Pavilion. Or I'm gonna eat at the Regal Eagle. I don't care what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm going over there. I'm going to be cool in the America Pavilion.
And even when the Voices of Liberty aren't performing, you can go into the Rotunda and just kind of walk around and hang out. Right now, as we're recording this in late 2024, but I know it's going to last for a year into 2025, there's a showcase of artwork by President George W. Bush in there.
Yes. So.
That's pretty cool. So they've got a lot of cool stuff like that. If I'm trying to beat the heat and I'm in World Showcase, I didn't pick a
You're
World
leaving.
Showcase one. I'm leaving. I'm making my way to the Land Pavilion. And here's why I picked the Land Pavilion, because there's just so much to do in there. You can ride Soarin', you can do Living with the Land, you can eat at Seasons.
They have a behind the scenes tour that you can
do.
do. It's an extra cost, but it is another little tour that you can do if you're really into agriculture, learning experiences, things like that. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
In there. We don't have a restroom segment on this show.
We don't. But hey, if you got to go to the land.
Go to the land.
Okay. Well, if I am going to be out of World Showcase and I'm hot, I'm going to the aquarium situation, right? I'm going to go and I'm going to ride the seas with Nemo and friends, and then I'm going to get off my clamshell and I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm still hot.
Yeah.
And I'm going to wander around and I'm going to look at all these beautiful little fish and animals that are, seeming cool. And I'm going to channel my inner cool before I go back outside.
Feels really good in there. It's always
great.
It's always nice and cool in there. I'm going over to Journey of Water inspired by Moana.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do because you just get wet. It's fun.
It is fun.
It feels good.
You can get as wet as you want to.
That's true.
You
don't
do
have
not
to get
have
wet.
to get wet,
You don't
but
have
you can.
to. But it's generally cooler. There's mists and things as you go.
Okay, so if you are going to Epcot, here's how you need to plan your day. Okay, so first, you do need to arrive probably 30 minutes earlier than you really think you need to. But before early entry, if you have early entry, you're staying on property, you need to arrive at least 30 minutes before that.
Probably an hour.
Let's be real. You need to know where your entrance is. This is a huge one for Epcot, okay? All of the other places, you're just going to come in the front. But Epcot does have 2 areas, so you need to make sure you know where am I coming in. And if you get the choice, figure out how you're getting there and know where you're going and what you're going to do.
Good point. Good point. There's also a virtual queue ride, and that's Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And so that means, 7 a.m.?
7 a.m.,
on
you better
Park
get
Day.
started.
You're opening up your My Disney Experience app. You're trying to get a spot in that.
Right. And in the
queue.
middle of the day when it's hot, you've gone to America Pavilion to sit down and enjoy the cool air, and then it's 1 o'clock and you're tapping again, trying to
That's
get that
right.
virtual queue.
They open up again at 1 o'clock. Okay, the rides that are going to have the longest waits throughout the day, this may indicate how you're going to prioritize your morning, especially if you're rope dropping. We're looking at Frozen Ever After. That gets, well over an hour
At
in
least,
the middle of the
probably
day.
looking at 65, 70, 75 minutes, generally speaking. Same with Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, though it can sometimes be longer than Frozen.
And another big one that is rope dropped is Test Track. That's closed as we're recording this. It's reopening in 2025 after it's refurbished, and there's a little reimagining going on, I guess, at Test Track. But that's going to be another one you're going to want to rope drop if that's your kind of thing. All right, so that's navigating Epcot with kids. Hopefully that's a little bit helpful to you, but we're not done because our top 5 on this episode actually relates to what we're talking about today. We're looking at top 5 educational experiences at Epcot, and in our family, we really prize those educational moments.
And here's the thing. If you are a family who prioritizes educational experiences, or you are a homeschooling family, no matter what you're doing, you can find a school day in Epcot easily. So let's look at the top 5 educational experiences at Epcot, and we're going to start number 5, the American Adventure. You're going to see all the classics there. It's a place that maybe they'll be bored, but maybe they'll enjoy if you do it in the middle of the day when they've been really hot.
Yeah.
And they're going to be really excited that it's a place to sit down and cool down, and then they won't even know they're learning something.
The American Adventure is an animatronic show in a big theater, so it's nice and cool inside of there. It's hosted by Mark Twain and Benjamin Franklin as they take you through the American story, and it inspires patriotism and all that good stuff. It's a neat way to learn some history.
I mean, it's number 5 for a reason. So number 4,
Okay.
We're going to the Journey of Water inspired by Moana. So you're going to get to learn all about the different things associated with the life cycle. No, water cycle.
Life cycle of water.
The life cycle of water.
I think
The
Olaf had some
circle of
things to say
life.
about that in Frozen, too.
He did.
That's kind of gross.
Wow.
Okay. Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, is not just a place to cool down. I told you that's one of my beat the heat spots. It is going to take you through the different cycles of water. That's really what the whole thing's about. And by the way,
You can play a fun game of I Spy.
I Spy. Keep the kids engaged by looking for all the little hidden Moana characters as you go. It's really cool.
It is.
Number 3 are the KidCot Fun Stops. You can get a little Epcot passport, right?
You can.
And you've got this is presented by Ziploc. They give you a little Ziploc bag. You can store all the stuff in. You get stickers as you go to each fun stop throughout the World Showcase.
Right. So as you go to the World Showcase and you come to a pavilion for a different country, you're going to go into the designated spot that has a KidCot area. You're going to be able to receive a little card. It's going to have some facts about that country. You get a sticker. And as a bonus, all of those cast members generally have a pin board. So if you are also into pin trading, that's where you're going to be able to find the cast members who have the pins for that area.
Yeah. It's really good. Number 2, the Seas with Nemo and Friends.
You can learn a lot in an aquarium.
You learn a lot at an aquarium, but also every time we've been there have been cast members who've just kind of been out, and they may have, showing you the skeletal structure of this aquatic animal's head or something like that. I mean, they encourage the kiddos to come up, ask questions, and they answer all those questions. I think also at certain times in the day, you can see divers going in and out of the aquarium and interacting.
So there are a lot of things to experience. I mean, it is very much like maybe your great, kind of a glorified local aquarium.
It's a Disney aquarium. I mean,
but it is fantastic, and it is somewhere to beat the heat and learn, and they're going to enjoy that. But okay, number 1, classic, iconic, Spaceship Earth.
We haven't talked about her yet.
You haven't, and she's beautiful.
I know.
I love Spaceship Earth, but listen, you're getting a timeline of the world here.
Whole world.
You're cool. You're enjoying the beauty inside of an icon. Okay, so you're really having a good time. My kiddos, they love a lot of different things about this ride. We were particularly fond of the Phoenicians, so we really enjoy Spaceship Earth. And maybe it's a little cheesy, maybe it's a little, it's a classic for a reason, but there's a lot to learn, a lot to smell, a lot to enjoy.
Our little kids love it. Yeah, they think it's a lot of fun, and it's a good relaxing time. Gives you something fun to look at,
and there's generally no wait.
It's very little wait unless it's raining or something, and it's just cool to go inside, so to speak, the Epcot ball. This is the ride inside of Spaceship Earth. So it's a really, really good one. Those are the top 5 educational experiences at Epcot. Hey, there's a few honorable mentions, by the way.
There are. Now, listen, if you've gone to Journey into Imagination with Figment, at the end of that ride, there is the Figment Imagination Lab, and these are interactive things for the kids to play with and do. There's even a meet and greet out there, so there are character experiences that they can have sometimes. You can, but it is something where they can play with different, things like sound and, other things like that they've kind of experienced through the ride. And this is another hands-on way to use that in a learning situation. So I really like that.
We've also already mentioned living with the land, and you can go on that little boat ride, and you learn a lot about, just the agricultural experiences and the conservation of plant life at Epcot.
Yes, so there's really a lot to learn at Epcot. But okay, I have one last question.
Okay.
I'm going to Epcot. Do I need a stroller?
If you've got kids who can remotely fit inside of a stroller,
yes,
then yes, you do. Remember that time we talked about how huge Epcot is? You're talking 20,000 to 25,000 steps
at least.
Easy.
Yeah.
At Epcot. You're
and that's
walking
for you.
all over the
that's
place.
for you, an adult. How many steps you're going to be taking. Now imagine those tiny little legs.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to be carrying that big old sack of potatoes with you at the end of the day? No, you don't.
And you get tired. And listen, if you're trying to do the rope drop thing, you want to be able to be mobile and be quickly mobile. So it's just better. And try and reduce the stigma for your kids. It's not a baby thing. There are a lot of bigger kids who are in strollers at all the parks at Disney World because it's just what you do.
Now, I'm not saying your moody, 16-year-old needs a stroller, but I am saying
I wish your moody 37-year-old could have a stroller.
To be fair. But, if you've got an 8, 9-year-old that's still going to fit inside of a stroller, maybe a double stroller, you're going to want that. Otherwise, you are going to be carrying them.
Yeah. So we have 2 kiddos, both under 10, and, they do the stroller thing. We have a double stroller. They sit side by side. They're able to get in and out of it on their own. Sometimes our bigger kid says that they'd rather walk at times, and that's fine. Other times we say, no, this isn't an opportunity for you to walk.
We're
and
rope
you just sit. But it's really good. And by the way, we're going to put some links in the show notes. FamilyStyleMagic.com/4. We've got a link to the very stroller that we purchased off of Amazon, as well as a rain cover because
you need it.
You do need that, as well as a stroller fan. That
and
can
my
be helpful.
favorite, stroller hook. Listen, the mommy hook is a game changer for me, and you're going to see a link to that in our show notes.
Yeah, it's good. You come out of the creation shop, you need a place to clip the bag or whatever you get. That's what the hook's there for.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
okay,
really
so
good.
Do I need a stroller? If somebody can fit in it, yes. And if it's big enough for a large person, then I'm sitting in it. Here I come. Whee!
We want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Family Style Magic. And hey, why not share your Epcot experiences with us on social media using the hashtag Family Style Magic, or comment on any of the posts that you see. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Just search Family Style Magic. And of course, you can also find some of our content on Emily's Wonder Makers Travel page. Just search for Wonder Makers Travel, and you'll find it there under Emily Hatfield's name. We have links in our show notes to that as well.
So if you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Family Style Magic platform of your choice. We'd like for you to subscribe to our podcast. We'd like for you to like our YouTube videos, whatever you can do. Listen, you don't want to miss all the tips and tricks that we're going to give you in a family-friendly way.
And we want to remind you once again about that website, FamilyStyleMagic.com. And in addition to our show notes, which we're trying to beef up and make as helpful as possible, we've also got some blog posts we're adding to that, especially this one. Are you traveling to Walt Disney World with kids? You need a plan. We've got some tips and tricks for you on our website, FamilyStyleMagic.com. And hey, are you ready to go? Well, you need a travel agent. And listen, it's free. It's all baked into the price of going anyway.
So,
I know a girl.
Send me an email, emily.hatfield@gmail.com. You can go to Family Style Magic.
Emily.hatfield@wondermakerstravel.com.
Is that what I said? Mm-hmm. Sure it is. But you can also go to our website, FamilyStyleMagic.com, fill out a form. I'd love to help you plan a trip to Epcot with your kiddos.
All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, may your adventures be magical and your memories unforgettable.